So now, obviously, you're what I've seen on Facebook and social media, because we're close mates and stuff like that. You're actually helping techno and stuff. So you're mentioning junior drivers. How many junior drivers are you helping now, and what's their names and stuff like that, just for like, you know, the audience to help through?
Yeah, so like I've only just signed up with Techno Australia.
Yep.
So eventually we'll do you know, the AKC or the Pro Tour when I can help them out. You know, his young boats, Cohen. You know, we got Matthew Hansford Taylor. He's up north. Lachlan Maneve. You got Craig down here. So, but the best thing about the Techno brand and what we're going to do is it's not necessarily about big events. I can go to Orange Club Day and help out a young kid that's his world title, and that's what I'm happy to do, because I don't want to feel that we only look after the guys that are at the very pointy end, because just because they can't afford to get to that point doesn't mean they don't need the respect and help at the lower club day. So you know, you'll see me at Grenfell, or you'll see me at, you know, AKC. So it's not necessarily helping out. You know, I'm not the most technical person, but it might just be just your mindset on a race weekend. Yeah. Don't lose your shit and kick your helmet. Yeah.
Don't get upset.
Yeah, don't get upset. You know, it's
we all did that when we were little.
Hence the smiley face on the helmet, man. Like, you see these kids get upset because they're racing their $10,000 go-kart on the weekend. It's like, mate, people can't afford football boots. Yeah. You're upset about racing a go-kart. Yeah. Like, a shit day at the track is so much better than what these other kids, like some other kids, have to go through. Oh, yeah. Most of them obviously just dream to like a race a go-kart, as you said, and some are just on sim racing. For you to help, like, obviously those guys with a lesser budget is massive for them, because they see a Super 2 driver coming from the bottom. So I think it's great. And, you know, obviously, also what I saw on one of your stories, which I touched on with you over Instagram, was like, obviously, at an abandoned go-kart track. So what was that? What track was that? Forbes, that's it. Forbes, So I actually won the Australian and state championship at that track. Yeah. In dirt. Yeah. Yeah, but it was such a cool thing to get back there and have a look. And I was working just down the road, and I'm like, fuck, I got to go in there, have a look. And grass was like 6 foot high, snakes everywhere. And I was like, it just brought so much memories. Yeah. And for how far I've gone and what we've done, that track, even though it's probably a speck of dirt, middle of nowhere, but that had such good memories for me. Yeah. And it's like, it just shows that the small tracks are where it's at. Like, you need to have that small time feel to get the memories before you go and stress out about a blue plate or a green plate or some shit. At one of the big tracks like Newcastle. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Port, or, you know, all those big tracks. You need those smaller tracks to get your family, friends around, and, you know, like I said, make great memories. And I've still got friends. My mate from Forbes, Darren Piper. Yep. I met him. He was a fat little 12-year-old, still fat. But I met him like at 12, and like, he was my best man at my wedding. I'm his godfather to his son. Yeah. You know, we're just good friends, and I think that's the main thing I'd like to get. Like, kids need to get out of karting, not, you know, leaving school. Yeah. You know, for a week at a time to go race a state title. It's not where it's at. No. And realistically, the supercar team couldn't give a shit if you win a state title or not. It's the attitude and how you learn the processes. You know, you could go in there with 50 Australian titles, but if you've got a bad attitude, they'll just tell you, get out the door. Yeah. When you were talking about, obviously, supercar teams, you obviously picked up your Super 2 car from Gary Rogers. Yeah. So is that the only team that you've been close with in terms of like getting knowledge from, or have you actually spoken to other bigger teams like Tickford or you know, Wilkinshaw or something like that, or done a test day with any of them before you bought your car? No. I unfortunately, with those teams, they're a business, so every bit of information is costs. So, and it's something that people don't really realise, that in supercar land, you know, a piece of paper could cost you $10,000. Yeah, you know, and that's fact. So we can't afford to do that, so we try to do everything on our own. We do have, you know, aftermarket, like, not aftermarket, should I say that, like contracting engineers to help us out. So, but in terms of affiliation, that last car was the first car I've bought directly from a main game team. Yeah, and you actually had trouble bringing it up from Victoria, didn't you? Didn't you have? Oh yeah, truck broke down. Oh mate, I had the worst couple of weeks. Bit of a shit show. Yeah, I'd sold my car to a bloke in Sydney, and then I had to go pick up the car, and we broke down in Victoria. Yeah. Then my driver drove the truck up to Sydney to drop my other car off, and he lost half a finger to try and unload. Really? Yeah, he had to get some stitches in his finger, but it was just the worst couple of weeks. It was just crazy rushed, but you know, they're the things that people don't get to see. Yeah. You know, being a family team, you know, there are a couple of privateers in our category, but most drivers just rock up with a helmet.
Yeah, and what most don't know, obviously, me being close to you and being a friend of yours, is you've actually got a female engineer or a mechanic on your team.
Yes, Siobhan. Yep. Yep. Or Bob, we call her.
Yeah, well, she's pretty damn good at her job.
Yeah, she's unreal. Yeah, Bob's good. She's I'll tell you why, Bob, because Siobhan is with a B.
Yep.
And I'm illiterate, so I was like, why would you put a B in Siobhan? So I'm just going to call you Bob. That's why Bob.
Yeah.
That's where you get Bob from. But yeah, she's unreal. We were racing 86s at Bathurst, and we had a crash. No, Sydney. No, Canto took me out, and in 86s, and then she was a part of the TAFE program there, and they just worked so well together. And I actually got a hold of the TAFE director. And I said, hey, I really want someone to come on board. We're budget team. I sent an email out to everyone a part of that program, and she was the only one to get back to me. And she's been with me ever since.
Wow.
Yeah.
You would think, obviously, from a TAFE point of view, you'd want to work with like a race car team. And
yeah. Oh, it just shows your commitment, mate. Like, you get that opportunity. And I know for a fact that she could get a job with any supercar team tomorrow because of that experience now. So, you know, you got to take...
What would you do? Like, obviously, I've never run a team, but I run with Barton Moore, right?
Yeah.
So that's like obviously a smaller team in the Formula Ford ranks. But with you, so say if like Bob goes on to another team, do you now have to go out and search for someone else? Or would Gary, your dad, you know, just chip in and help until you find someone else?
Well, we've been pretty lucky. We've got a couple of really good guys around. So like Bob had 2 rounds off where she went up north on a camping trip with a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And so we're able to, you know, fill her role. But obviously, you know, she's like furniture. We'd love to keep her around, but it's pretty easy to like. It's not easy. It's easy to find someone, but it's hard to get the processes to the point where it's like everything just flows. Yeah. Like she knows her job. She knows what to write down. She knows how to do it, and you can get people in and you can do things, but then it's like it's just those fine little details that takes time. Yeah. And she's got that down to a pack. But, you know, I've got some really good crew, don't get me wrong. Like and it might be, you know, one of my sponsors, Tony, he comes out and rubs down all the panels and he sprays them and does everything like. So everyone's got their little jobs that they're really good at. And my 2 mechanics from Melbourne, they've coming up for this round coming. Yep. And they're brilliant. Yeah, they're really good. So, you know, go to racing, have a few beers in the Arvo and chill out, and it's pretty relaxed. Yeah.
You just chill out, have a beer afterwards. And
100%. I'd crack a beer for sure if no one wants to stay around with me. Yeah, that's one thing I miss about Speedways, that they, you know, everyone races, then cracks a beer after, and then chills out for an hour or so. Where cars is pack off and we're on a plane.